Hello everyone, how are you doing? Hope that you are doing great. So inshallah, we are going to make a mock interview regarding to NIBUSH Open Book examination. So if you are trying or if you are planning to take NIBUSH IGC in the future, I think this video will be helpful for you. Mr. Rada, what do you think?
Yeah, sure. Inshallah, this video will going to help them to prepare for their closing interview.
Okay, so let us start. At the beginning, Mr. Rada, we are going to record this interview. Are you agree about recording?
Yeah, sir. You can record it for quality purposes.
Okay, so hello, my name is Khalid Atal Mannan. I work for the X company, and inshallah, today I will be working with you today to take you through your closing interview for your NIBUSH Open Book examination. Could you please confirm your name, Mr. Raza?
Yeah, myself, Muhammad Raza.
Thank you, Muhammad Raza. I want to start by explaining the process and the procedure of this interview. In the moment, I will ask you to show me your ID. ID acceptable, either you can show me your, okay, not now, just now let me explain the procedure, okay?
Okay.
ID acceptable, you can either show me your passport or your driving license if you have one. Do you have driving license by the way?
No, I don't have. Still until now, I don't have. I'm just new in this Saudi Arabia, so I still don't have driving license.
Okay, no problem. And I will then need you to show me your room so that I can make sure there is no one else in the room except you. And then we will begin to discuss your open book examination. I will ask you a few questions. Please take your time to answer the question. Feel relaxed. I'm just here today for you. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So the closing interview will take approximately around 15 minutes. Are you comfortable and ready to begin?
Yes, sir. You can.
Yeah, okay. So now, could you please show me your ID?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Could you please bring it near to the camera? Okay, Mr. Muhammad Raza. Okay, thank you, Mr. Muhammad. So now by using your camera, could you show me your room so that I can make
Sir,
sure that
actually, I'm in my office. So because I'm in my office, so I cannot turn my laptop, but I'm alone in this room. So as you're seeing, I'm just alone.
yeah, okay. But for the students, they need to show us their room, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So before I start, Mr. Muhammad Raza, I want you to know that the closing interview, it's not a mark examination. And the outcome does not contribute or affect your overall grade. It's just like a short interview to make sure that you have done this NIBUSH open book examination by yourself. Okay?
Sure.
Okay, so let us start. How do you think the assessment was? The exam was too easy or too tough for you?
Yes, sir. It was easy for me, by the way. Why? Because I was working in a site. So on the site, so maximum the scenario that I received was just related to my day-to-day operations. And actually, Nibosh, what my suggestions about Nibosh open book exam, it was like a good experience because it's not only help us or enable us on do the research thing, but also it's overall increased our knowledge toward in you can say toward a greater future for us as having the NIBOSH IGC and open book exam. It was a good experience for me.
Okay, so did your study had prepared you well for the exam?
Yeah, our trainer helps us a lot in during our classes. He was good daily or after 2 or 3 times, 3 days. He is giving us the scenarios. He was making the scenarios for us. So those scenarios actually help us a lot because we already done some practice about the exam before. So actually, it was a great experience.
Okay, so how long it took from you to complete the exam?
Sir,
One
I
hour
gave
or one day?
no, sir. I gave you can say continuous 5 hours to complete the exam.
Oh, only 5 hours? That is
Yeah.
good, I think. Okay, so now, Mr. Raza, I will start to ask you a specific question from your papers. I have your papers here, by the way, okay?
Okay.
So let us start by the task number one. If you remember, task number one, you require to use the financial argument to justify your proposed recommendation to segregate the forklift truck from the pedestrian, okay? So two of the justification you gave here. Number one, you mentioned that the following benefit will be like no first aid treatment and the medical cost at the hospital will not be required. This is the first point. Next point, you mentioned that no fine and compensation. So my question is, which one of these do you think is the most important and why?
For me, first it is very important because if you don't have a first aid by the way, so you will not going to sometime it's the matter of life and death. Okay, so you wasn't able to preserve the life. The first thing. The second thing, first aid is there to prevent deterioration as well. So if you can see if you're seeing a victim or if you're seeing a patient who is just you can say in a not a good situation, so you can easily by having good first aid you can say stop the things to getting worse. Okay. So and compensation you can say if a person just an injured and without giving him proper first aid he died, so automatically you have to give more compensation after that. So for that regard, for me, you can say first aid is more important.
Okay. Okay, now Mr. Roda, let us move toward to the task number three. Task number three is talking about the managing the contractor. What the thing that we should consider when selecting an external contractors. One point here, you mentioned health and safety policy. Why do you think that health and safety policy is important?
Sir, actually, the policy shows us about the company's commitment to health and safety. So, and also will tell us about their expertise and about their arrangement, like their resources in a way. If I check the policy well, so I will going to know about the company, how the company is actually, what are their aims and objectives, and how they are treating health and safety. Either health and safety is their first priority, or they're focusing about the products and finance in more you can say. So for that reason, sir, for me, if I'm you can say a client and I have to choose a contractor, so I will rather focus on the policy of that contract.
Okay. Okay, now for task number four, you wrote about the likely benefits to the organization from having a formal safety management system. Two of the benefits you mentioned here, number one, you said that legal compliance will increase and will reduce fines and enforcement actions. Next point, you mentioned reduction of workplace incident. So the question is, which of these do you think is the most important to address and why?
Which one, sir? Can you please repeat it?
Okay, 2 point number one, you said legal compliance will increase and will reduce fine and enforcement action. This
Yeah,
is the first point.
yeah.
Second point was reduction in workplace incident.
Sir, for me is actually legislations are very important, complying the legislation. Why? Because first of all, if we are not complying, then fines will be imposed on us and sometime prohibition of work, and also you can say we will going to like in punitive damages we will going to have you can say jail. We have the top management will suffer you can say will be in jail as well. So automatically, sir, when we are complying with the laws, so that means that we are following health and safety, and when we are complying with the laws, automatically there will be reduction in accident and reduction in incident.
Okay. Okay, now Mr. Rada, for the task number five, you were asked to write about the negative indicators of safety culture at the warehouse. Okay, you mentioned here two negative indicators. One point you said management has no commitment to health and safety. Next point you mentioned like there is like a poor incidents and accidents reporting. So the question is, if you had to choose one, which one of these do you think has the biggest impact of or about safety culture in the organization?
Safety culture, sir. What 2 points that you give me actually?
Okay, we are talking about the influencing of negative culture. Okay, so 2 point number one, you said management has no commitment to health and safety.
Yeah.
Point number two, you mentioned poor incident and accident reporting.
Sir, actually, for me, you can say management commitment is very important. Okay. If management is committed, so automatically they will surely going to have good reporting system. If management is committed, they will going to give the resources, okay, for their workforce like time, money, and you can say efforts they will also give. And also, sir, for culture, you can say if the board, you can say your labor staff or those who come down on your organizational chart, if they are seeing that their management, your management is committed, so automatically they will work safe and they will follow the top management. So actually, for me, management commitment is very important for managing good standard of health and safety.
Okay, Mr. Rada. Now for the task number six. Task number six is about safe system of work. So you were asked what you need to consider so that you can make sure the first aid needs are realistic and appropriate in the warehouse workers. The question is, what source of information did you use to support your answer in this question exactly?
Sir, I took the information from, you can say, sir, first of all, from HSE website I used. I also use CPR website. I also visit, sir, my company. Okay. I visit the company and I talk with my company doctor. So by talking with company doctor, I have an idea about the answer. So I will going to answer. And also, sir, I check my IG2 books and I prepare my own notes as well. So I took help from them also. So I mentioned all the sources that I use so in my answer sheet as well.
Okay, just to be sure, here we are talking specifically about the task number six. We are not talking about the overall exam, okay?
Yeah, yeah. Yes, sir. About task number 6, I give the, you can say, resources on my answer sheet.
Okay, so now let us move to the task number seven. In the question 8, you were required to write about the individual human factor that could have negatively influenced the behavior of the young forklift driver. Okay, so 1 point you mentioned here, there is absence of positive culture in the warehouse and the driver was using his cell phone while driving. Okay, you are with me?
Yeah, yeah, sir. I'm listening you.
Yeah, so my question is, why do you think that the driver is using his cell phone while driving have influenced the behavior of the forklift driver?
Actually, sir, that shows in as per the scenario. Okay, when a person is using mobile phone means he is not trained. Okay, proper trained. He's having attitude problems. So who is responsible by the way to change the attitude? Giving the attitude changing trainings is actually the company, the employer or the organization. So actually that shows that he is having uncareful attitude. He is not care. He is careless, by the way. He is careless attitude and he is not giving importance to his work and he is not knowing about the hazards of his work and risk of his activities that was he is doing. So that's actually, you can say, for me, that's why I said that it will going to have problem on his behavior. That's why I chose.
Okay, okay. Now, Mr. Rada, the final question. Can you give me an example like of topic from your NIBUSH open book examination that you can apply in your workplace?
Yes, sir. Actually, before the NIPOSH, I have sit in the classes. We were focusing on physical aspect more. After doing the NIPOSH, we got to know like psychological aspect is very important as well. Like we have to focus on psychological health of our workforce. Also, NIPOSH enabled me on management thing because it helps me a lot on managing good standard of health and safety. Now I got the importance of policy. I got the importance of organizing section and planning section. So it helps me a lot on management thing actually in Nibush.
Okay, as this is the end of the interview, thank you, Mr. Rada, for your time. Hope you all success.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
Okay,
so much.
Mr. Rada, do you have like any advice for these people who are trying to take Nibush IDC?
Sir, just do practice. Writing and typing practice should be more because for me, if you don't have a good typing speed and writing skills, 3,000 words will be like 30,000 words for you. So it's better to do practice. You can say typing as well and writing as well. If you are want to type, then you have to have a proper typing speed. If you want to write, you should have good writing skills.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rada.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.